Christopher Luxon hosted his Christmas party at Premier House.
Oh, I love this.
Premier House that's in disrepair, Premier House that you cannot live in. Well, he hosted his Christmas party at Premier House and stayed there for a few nights. He hosted up to 25 members. I assume the only way he got those 25 members in was some of them were kind of leaning out the holes in the walls because it's in disrepair. So
masks. Hazmat suits.
Yep. For Christmas at Premier House, despite saying the residence wasn't in a fit state, Luxon came under fire last week for claiming a $52,000 annual accommodation allowance while living in his mortgage-free Wellington apartment rather than the Prime Minister's official residence. Now, I'm not going to confirm this, but I saw commentary today that said if he had have been living in Premier House, he wouldn't have been allowed the $52,000.
No.
Now, So the distrustful, pessimistic side of me goes, this would be pretty evil. He actually refuses to live there because he wants the $52,000. Like, that would be another level of revolting. Rather than going, well, I can't live there, so I'm taking it. That's one level of revolting. The second layer down would be like, I refuse to live there because I want the money. Hours after telling reporters that he was entitled to the entitlements that everyone else gets. Remember, that's not true. Not every MP gets the allowance that he gets because other MPs get reimbursed their costs. He has no costs. He just gets given a flat fee. So when he says that, it's not the case. Goes on to talk about no longer receiving it. Now, Chewy, this is actually 2 minutes of the press stand-up where it first happened, and we haven't watched this before. And I thought, what a beautiful way to finish off the week, that we actually go back and have a look at this incredibly awkward time.
Oh, I've seen this. It's so cringe.
Point out again the lies that he tells. Now, if I was being fair, I would say that he's not aware. Mind you, he must be, because he would have been an MP last year. So, yeah, he knows, because he would have claimed an allowance last year for his house in Wellington while he was a leader of the opposition, and he would have got reimbursed maybe whatever he paid. But he knows, in my opinion, honest our belief, that not everyone gets what he got, but he is trying to sell it still. Well, back then he was. I just want to watch it. It's a kind of a way to wrap up the week. It's been a big story for this week, and it gives you another 2 minutes to make your order on bhnshop.nz as well. So let's have a look at what he said, and this started the week of conversations off.
Is claiming the accommodation allowance greedy?
Look, it's part of an entitlement for an out of Wellington MP.
Not true.
Whether you're an MP or
not true. What he gets is not an entitlement for any MP. Not true. What he gets is the Prime Minister's. Any MP doesn't get it. Other MPs get that reimburse what they spent. He spent nothing because his apartment was freehold. So this is not true.
Minister, there's a series of allowances and entitlements, and it's because I don't have a primary residence in Wellington. Like everyone, I travel in and out of Parliament each and every week from my home in Auckland, and it's an entitlement that all MPs and ministers have.
Your government wants to cut unnecessary spending. Isn't it hypocritical to be collecting this money when you don't actually require it? Your house is paid for?
Yes.
Sorry, what's the question?
Don't you think this is hypocritical?
Why?
You're encouraging the rest of the country to...
I actually think he's being honest here. I honestly believe this is the moment he's being honest. Why is it hypocritical that I'm asking everyone to cut back while I'm taking more? Why is that hypocritical? I'm entitled to it. I really honestly believe this is one of the parts where he is actually telling the truth. And this tells us more about the man than anything else. We'll just play the last kind of 5 or 6 seconds again.
Isn't it hypocritical to be collecting this money when you don't actually require it? Your house is paid for?
Sorry, what's the question?
Don't you think this is hypocritical?
Why?
You're encouraging the rest of the country to cut unnecessary spending. You want to...
Unbelievable.
You're cutting back on public services. And then you're collecting money. I mean, it's not necessary.
Yes, but all I'm just saying to you is I want to be able to get to Premier House. I think that'd be really important as promised. I'd like to live there. Premier House has got maintenance issues and I can't live there at this point in time. And that's why I'm carrying on living on in my apartment. As I said before, all MPs and ministers have entitlements, particularly all those MPs that are living outside of Wellington, which I happen to do. So,
So that was more truthful because he said all MPs have entitlements. But other times he says are entitled to this. which is not true. They do have entitlements. They don't have this entitlement.
The intention is we want to get to Premier House as quickly as we possibly can. For that to happen, we've got to make sure we can get some renovations and some maintenance done there so that we can live in that apartment, and that's what I really want to do. Sorry?
The question was, is it hypocritical?
Look, it's an entitlement that I have as an out-of-town Auckland-based MP, as do many other non-Wellington-based MPs and or ministers. But obviously, my intention is to get to Premier House as quickly as I can. But at the moment, I can't go to Premier House. I live...
It's funny because you could for your big Christmas party and stuff. So, and you won't let journalists inside Premier House to see the disrepair. Almost kind of feels like there's some excuses there, maybe.
In Auckland, and I need to live somewhere when I'm in Wellington, and that's why I'll continue to live in my flat.
Do you accept that it doesn't look very good?
Well, what I'm saying to you is I'm trying to explain to you how the situation works, which is that as Prime Minister, it would be awesome to be able to be in Premier House. It's probably not great that we don't have a place that actually has maintenance issues and has renovations and repairs that
right on the verge of blame Labor there.
Are desperately needed in that place. But we're going to work our way through it. It's been a long-standing issue, and we've got to find a way through because I would really like to live there. It would be ideal. But at the moment, as an Auckland-based MP who has to come to Wellington to do my job, I would like to live in Premier House, but it's not available to do so. I'm living in my apartment at the moment.
So there you go. We hadn't shown that full
thing.
It was
good enough for Jacinda.
And a baby.
It was good enough for Jacinda with a new baby.
And it was good enough.
And when he was asked, he said, "Oh, lots happened since Jacinda lived there. What, in 6 to 8 months? What the fuck?" So part of that story of him having that function there is he actually slept there for 2 nights afterwards.
Yeah,
he's quite capable of.
He probably put tarpaulin up on the holes in the wall, is what I'm guessing.